my dear friends, I like to hand it over to Madam Meera Anand, who's already with us, on how to appear for an personal interview.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon and welcome to all for how to appear for PI. Generally we call when PI people think that I don't know what you are talking. It is something very hyper thing. Generally when we learn even special simple English for we have sessions for simple English for CAT students, but because we have to create that hype that they have to learn good English for clearing this exam, we generally say okay, we'll do sentence completion. Sentence completion is nothing but filling the blanks. You know. Similarly, when I talk about PI is nothing but personal interview. So how to appear for personal interview, that is most important for all of us to know, because every now and then maybe students, maybe teachers, they would like to know that how they can appear, how they can express themselves the best so that they are well suited for that particular organization where they are going for an interview. Whether it could be institute, whether it could be an organization, whether it could be MNCs, any place. So the main thing is that you have to express yourself to that level. So in case if you feel that it is going to good for you, and try to just take few tips, and otherwise you can also tell your students who are under you and guide them, and also encourage them that how they can groom themselves for this platform of appearing for an interview. Okay. I welcome all of you. Maharaja Agrasen University, Solan, Ajmer, Jaipur, Kota, and Maharashtra, and also Sirsa, Bahadurgarh, Mulana, and other places we are connected to. Most important thing is what is PI, what is personal interview. I think it's quite easy for you to just associate yourself with this word. The formal meeting in person is specially arranged for the assessment of the qualification of the candidate. It means whatever you have been qualified till date. So whether you can easily arrange yourself and all you can arrange and you can tell your assessment and you can be easily assessed by the other person. That is a basic definition of personal interview. The basic aim of such session is to give you the words, right words to be used at right time. Because even if we are aware about what is personal interview, but if we are not about the words, sometimes just to express only this line also what is personal interview will take time. Because we are not, we try to find out some words. What, I don't know. I know personal interview, but I cannot express. So the best is you can also jot it down. You can just write it down for yourself and for your students. That personal interview is a formal meeting. It is a business formal meeting. It is not only formal meeting that as if you're going for a wedding or maybe reception. That is also quite formal. But this meeting is different business formal meeting, and especially one arranged for the assessment of the qualification of the candidate. Next is that I'm just giving you an idea. There are 2-3 panelists take around 15 to 25 minutes of interview, and then approximately the weightage of 10 to 20%. That is to meet B schools. When I'm talking about B schools, means that IM schools for MBA. But that is one instance, one example I have taken. So that can vary from institute to institute, organization to organization, and companies to companies. So you cannot say, okay, ma'am, you have told us 2 to 3 panelists, but maybe it is 5 or maybe it is 8 also. That depends upon organization. Because one of our my very close colleague that time in Airtel, and now this time after 18 years of experience, when he appeared for one interview in very good organization, and there he appeared for an interview 8 times. So even after this much of good experience, sometimes you have to appear for an interview because they would like to gauge that whether you are fit for that particular place or not. Fit in the sense that you should be right choice for them. You should not be best choice for them, but right choice for them for that particular company. So may or may not have panelists are mostly professors, alumni, and then psychologists and industry experts. They would like to see you from each and every angle, that whether you could be easily adjusted to that environment, whether you have good team skills, whether you have good negotiation skills, whether you have good behavioral traits. Because tomorrow, in case if you are going to work with around 2,000 or maybe 3,000 employees together under same roof, and then it is very easy for you, for them also, to give you what actually you have expected. The other day I was reading that you should be first aware about which workforce you belong to. People who were born 1920s to 1930s, so they are basically known as veterans, that workforce. Veterans, veterans. Fine. And people like those who were born 1930s to 1940s, that is 31 to 40, and that generation is known as, that workforce generation is known as the free generation. One is veterans, second is free generation, and then after that free generation, that is from 40 to I guess 50, that was we're talking about X generation. So all these generations are there. X generation, sorry, 60s to I can talk about 45 to 60. 45 to 60, those who were born, they were basically generation free generation, and from 61 to talking about 61 to 70, those who were born between 1961 to 70, they are basically known as generation X. And then from 71 to 80s, they are basically E generation, and then from 81 to 90 is Y generation, and from 90 to 2010, that workforce generation is known as digital natives. They are digital natives. So you need to know first of all which generation you belong to. If you are between 1961 to 70s, it means you belong to generation X. So they have different features, different characteristics. If you remember your parents, those who were born at the age of 1920s to 45. So they actually live, they always want to be in a particular organization for the number of years. बहुत सारे साल वो क्या है वो एक ही जगह रहना चाहते थे. Was very difficult for them to change, to adapt to the new environment. If I talk to my father today and if I just ask him, I said, how many years you spent in bank? Because he was a banker and was retired, and he worked for around 38 years, 40 years in the same organization. Same organization 40 years, and because he thought that no, it's a best thing, and the best part is that once they are satisfied with their workstation, with their work culture, and with the nature of work which they are doing, they don't want to leave that organization. They would like to just be there for a number of years. But now when you talk about digital natives, because this man, you can say workforce now, is quite comfortable in switching over jobs, and that's the reason the main challenge which now employers they are facing is to give them good facility, and basically they would like to know that how to hold them back, because they are quite adaptable. They want to get connected to people. It is not only that they want to commute to work, they would like to communicate with work. Now generation, they actually don't only want to go to office and come back. They would like to actually make circles, social networking they do, and they would like to be get connected, and they want to switch over from one place to another very easily. They are not restricted that they have to be here for maybe 20 years or 30 years from now onwards. They would like to switch over, and they're quite adaptable also. And the best part is that they are quite there. In their mind, they do not have any fear in their mind that in case if they leave this job, what will happen next day. They know that they can easily find the job and they can easily be switched over to another job. So it is not only that we have to prepare ourselves for an interview in case if I'm an aspirant, but also on the other hand, employers also, they should take it as an opportunity to have this kind of work culture where they can accommodate this kind of workforce. digital natives for the longer period of time. This is most important. May or may not have a fixed structure. So next one is, you can change the panel, that why PI, why we need to have this personal interview session. Basically to understand your thought process. Why we have to come in contact in person with someone. In case if I mail some resume to somebody, then why you would like to see me in person? Because my mail have, you can say this, if this resume is with me and if I'm sending a soft copy to a person, there is no need for the person to come and would like to know the same thing from you, killing your time also and his own time. But at the same time, it is very important that paper will not going to help them to gauge that what kind of person you are. For that, it is very important that they have to meet you in person. Your attitude, your commitment level, because there are some questions they will going to ask. How you will going to do this job? How means that what attitude you carry? Or maybe what kind of techniques, what kind of skills which you possess. And can you do this job? Can you do this job? Again, attitude they would like to check. So they may ask you such type of questions, why, how you will do this job, and why you want to do this job, and how, why, and do you think, can you do this job? Same question. But can, how, what makes a lot of difference. So here they are asking you same question with different angles just to test your attitude, to test your abilities, to test your, you can say, motive towards work, and also your thought process, that whether you would like to, whether you are taking it as just a burden, or maybe you would like to take it as some passion for the particular work. So that is what they will only gauge when they meet in person with you, to analyze your reaction to different situations. And the most important thing is that domain of interview, knowledge about you. Most important is that you need to tell to the other person that, okay, who you are. Aap kaun hai, kahan se aaye ho, everything they need to know about you. But before that, you need to know about yourself. So for that, most important thing, the first task which you need to do today is to write one biographical sketch about yourself. Write about 2 to 250 words, that what kind of person you are, what problems you have faced till now, and in case if you have faced a particular problem, how you got it solved, and at the same time, what is your ambition and what is your vision, and maybe your weaknesses, your strength. So that sketch is only for you, not for the others. Why we have to write this biographical sketch? Because for that, first of all, you have to spend time with yourself. Number two, I don't want to paint the whole surface with the surface knowledge. I would like to go to the source knowledge. And source knowledge can easily be possible only once you spend time with yourself. You just try to discover yourself and find out good words, so that at least tomorrow, in case if you go and meet someone, you should know that, okay, what kind of material you are made up of. So are you really very emotional? Are you really very passionate about certain work, maybe some skills? What are your hobbies? What are your interests, and how they differ from each other? And such type of questions. Let's say in case if you would like to take interview of someone, and what you want the other person should be. Exactly same way. Try to just think. And the other day also I told you, in case if you want to prepare yourself for any speaking, public speaking forum, you have to give so many questions to yourself. If this question is asked, then how I will answer. If this is a question, then how will I answer? So make a questionnaire for yourself, and then try to discover yourself. Most important. Because frankly speaking, in very short span of time, of few seconds, it will be very difficult for you to find out good words for yourself at that point of time. And the best thing is, in case if you know about yourself well, you can explicit about your own self in a better form. But otherwise, if you say, well, I say that if you just, because to be in spontaneous situation, the other day we were talking in the classroom for classroom communication, that it is very important for us to know about certain things, then only we can express. And we can only be spontaneous only when we have already experienced that thing before. You are not aware what type of question they will going to ask. But one एक पेपर में क्वेश्चन तो पहले शुरू में लीक होता ही होता है. Tell me something about yourself. उसके बाद तो that depends on you how you will take the interview. But first question you're already aware of. You do only 5 questions out of 10. So you don't know what type of questions you will going to get at the time of interview. But first question is always there. Tell me something about yourself. So if you're already aware about that question, you're already of course expecting that this kind of question will going to come. So then prepare yourself better. And to prepare this knowledge about yourself. And the next is hobbies, interests, strengths, experience, weaknesses, subject studied, career plan, everything about yourself. And try to beautify this. I'm saying beautify with more adjectives about yourself. I'm meticulous. I'm not perfectionist, but at the same time, I want excellence in my work. At the same time, I'm also I have a child in me that keep cropping up now and then. So I need to just find out a right place to show that expression, or maybe I have to control myself in that situation. And these are my hobbies. These are my interests. So all these type of things you have to jot it down under this biographical sketch about yourself. Because once you are thorough with that, you will not going to read that out in front of an employer. But at the same time, once it is there on the piece of paper, it means once it is already gone through your head. And once it is already there in your head, you can easily express yourself better. Knowledge about the environment, which environment you belong to, your cultural background. Your environmental means that your family and your friends, your relatives, maybe why you should be aware of, maybe because let's say if your maternal uncle or paternal uncle, maybe he is in army or maybe of that background where he actually taught you about time management. So there you can easily quote that example, sir. I am my maternal uncle, and he is because if they ask you about your family, tell me something about your family. You can say, so my father, he's quite meticulous because he is from army background. Now he's retired, but I remember that initially morning time he always used to be very particular about our exercises. At the same time, he's quite particular about our time schedule for particular things. Let's say for eating, for working and for studying, for recreation, everything was time set. So we never believed in procrastination. We never used to delay things to the next day. Procrastination means what? It means delaying things. आज नहीं तो कल कर लेंगे, कल नहीं तो परसों कर लेंगे, ऐसा काम हमने कभी करा नहीं because our father always used to instruct us like this. At the same time, if there's something very good about your paternal uncle, chacha ji aapke, you can say one line, sir, hard working. I think that is within me in my genes because of my paternal uncle, maybe. Because the same family to which I belong, and sir, he is agriculturist, he's a farmer, and he stays in village. But morning time around 3:30 he gets up, and by the time he goes off to bed by 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the evening, and since morning till evening he is just working very hard. So that skill, that you can say genes or you can say DNA, I'm carrying from him. So basically, what you are doing, you are talking about yourself. At the same time, you are appreciating the other person. Third thing, you are also telling that you have that eye to see and to point out good things in others. You are appreciating others. So you are talking about your own self. You are appreciating somebody. Plus, you have eye. You are very observant. And number three, that you also possess such skills. This is the right way of, in a very nicer form, you're presenting yourself to employer. So even if you get only a few seconds to express what kind of person you are, you can talk about all these things. Fine? It depends that whether you have time for all these things or not. But depending upon the time, you can also tell something about your environment. In case if you belong to Chandigarh, it's city beautiful, very well planned, very organized, and very green, very clean city. So, sir, I'm also quite meticulous. I'm also quite organized. Maybe that's because of the place where I belong to. Maybe if you in studio we have this aspirants from Mizoram. So, ma'am, in case if you find something very good about your culture, So maybe you can say that this is because I possess this because of the place which I belong to. Right? So there's something like you should know about your place very well in detail. Then only you can express about yourself in detail with confidence. Next, we're talking about parameters, personality, body language, subject knowledge, communication skills. On all these parameters, you will be rated well. आपकी personality कैसा है? Find your walk, your mannerism. I'm going to tell you that how we are going to do, how we have to appear for that particular day, how you have to walk with a folder in your hand. And subject knowledge, why I'm saying 20? Because this is a prerequisite. Till the time you don't have any subject knowledge for that particular job, of course you should not have applied for that job. So that is something which is most important. If I'm giving 20, it means I must be taking HR interview. I'm not taking a technical interview. If I'm taking technical interview, then it should not be 20 weighted, it should be 100%, 100 out of 100. So I'm just giving you a part of it. So personality, body language, how you're sitting, how you're making eye contact, listening skills, and you have already learned a lot for the last few days. You must be doing this. And communication skills, command over language, because you need to know where to use which word, where to use look, where to use see, where to use I can say watch. एक ही चीज है see, look and watch, but sometimes you have to use look somewhere else, watch somewhere else, and you can say watch and look and see somewhere else. If you are looking at something voluntarily, and that is what looking, but otherwise you can see so many things in this room. And when you talk about third thing, that is most important, it is watching. It means for the period of time. So just you can take the message. It's important. Sorry, wait a second. General awareness, you need to learn, you need to read a lot, and for that you need to be very, very careful, because you have to take out time for reading notes. Because what is happening, if I'm talking about generation of workforce, maybe you are working for so many years, but you have not taken, because I have not learned from there. And it's not something rocket science also, because you are reading newspaper, and in newspaper you find all these things readily available, especially Wednesday Ascent, and you're talking about Hindustan Times careers, and then you talk about Economic Times, you talk about the Hindu Tribune. There are various different, of course, newspaper, and they are giving you all this information. So general awareness is very important. You should know that earlier it was Burma, now it is Myanmar. So tomorrow if you say we belong to Myanmar, it's a new country. I said no, it's earlier we used to call it Burma, but now it is Myanmar. So we need to know about this. In case general awareness means that in case if you belong to Panchkula or you belong to Chandigarh, so what is who is the governor of Chandigarh? About आप जिस जगह पे रहते हैं, कौन सी भी स्टेट में रहते हैं, हिसार, सिरसा, लुधियाना, पंजाब, wherever. Most important is that you need to be aware about all these things. Clarity of goal. What do you want? You really want this job, or you're just coming for trying it? Okay, work हो गया, ठीक है. Otherwise, I don't need a job. I'm just here to check about my own self. That what is my level. That's the reason I'm here for an interview. Otherwise, I never needed this interview job and this place. Why? Because in case if you have not been selected, maybe you have another cause to say that okay, fine, because I never wanted before. Otherwise, once you got selected, it's like, of course, I worked very hard towards it. Because we keep changing as per our own, with our own ease, we keep changing our instance. So this could only be possible if you're 100% sure that you are not going for trial, you are going for really this job. And that's the reason you are working towards it. Next is that tell me something about yourself. First thing, why do you want to pursue MBA? Why you want to pursue this kind of a career? Or you want to do engineering? Why you have done engineering? Why you have done doctorate? Why you have? Why you would like to be in academia? Why you want to be here? So everything in detail. Just talk to yourself, and you have to take today appointment with yourself. Sit and then write it down and think about yourself. Then only you can prepare yourself for an interview. Okay. So most important thing, first thing which you have to reflect, one is biographical sketch. Number two, please buy a folder from the market where you can just put all your, you can say, all your certificates till now. Maybe in class, if your parents are so organized, but if I talk about this digital natives, definitely your students, in case if you are going to guide them, they must be possessing few certificates of baby show. If their mother have parents had taken them for baby show, and if they've been awarded with a certificate that best baby of maybe Rotary Club or the Lions Club or maybe IMA, Indian Medical Association, so wherever, so there they can just collate it together. उसको परख लेंगे अपने साथ. Next, 2 years old, let's say if your name is Anu. I can say 2 years old Anu, maybe 5 years old Anu, maybe 7 years old Anu, maybe 10 years old Anu. So all certificates, maybe of competition, maybe of you can say cultural competition, on the spot painting competition, maybe dance competition, maybe you had donated some blood somewhere, science fair, and maybe you got that photograph of sachet of best student of the year, or maybe you can say prefect, house captain, prefect, head girl, head boy, maybe whatever you have achieved so far, try to collate it. Maybe they will not going to ask you. But why I'm saying that in a folder, let's say if this is a folder, this is a folder, this is not a folder. Basically, I'm just showing you this. If this is a folder, what you need to do, you can just insert in that envelope. The slip के ऊपर आप डालेंगे बीच में. You can insert that first certificate of 2 years old Anu, maybe then 4 years old, then 6 years old, then 8 years old, then 10 years old, 15, 12, you are not 20, and then not 21. So here you have few papers which are left ahead, free, because the story of life still continues and we have more achievements to take. So you have 10 certificates, then after 12 certificate, then your first year, second year, final year, whatever certification, whatever hard skills you have achieved so far, please put it in one folder. That is a portfolio which you have to make it ready for your interview. Now the question says that when will be the time to show all this? There is no need to show. The only thing is when you talk that, okay, tell me something about yourself. And you will going to tell, sir, I'm achiever throughout. I'm a very meticulous person, organized person. There what will happen? In case if you are talking like this to them, maybe you have something to talk about with something with you can say proof. Okay, sir, I still remember, sir, this is 3 years old Anu. I celebrated this thing in Diwali festival, and I sang a song when I was too small. And the best part is that at the age of 12 years, and I achieved this award. That is the best solo song competition. I achieved this award. And then in class 10th, that was a wonderful thing. And you keep on looking at your portfolio yourself, and you're talking to the person. So they may say that what is there in your hand? Can you just take a look? At that point of time, you can give it to them. Yes, sir, you can just take a look. In case if you would like all these, you can say achievements to show to the employer. In case if you don't want, doesn't matter. But at the same time, that shows that how well planned you are. You cannot show this, immediately. The moment you enter the room and you think, okay, please take a seat. Yes, sir, this is my resume. Why you have to give? They never asked for it. So please keep this portfolio yourself and in your lap only. Or maybe you can ask them, sir, may I? Then you can keep it on their table. Otherwise, don't use their table. It is not business etiquette. Okay, fine. Yes, sir. Tell me. Or maybe if you come along with your bag and everything, maybe you can say that, sir, okay, fine. So this is the table which is lying in front of you and the employer. And you can just, but at the same time, sir, you have to just tilt the camera. So at least I can show myself. If you can just, can I show this in case if you can tilt the camera till here? Just to tell them, because I again have to come up also, because I keep on moving, especially at the time of interview. It's difficult for me to be sit there
Yes.
behind the scene.
No,
I have to come ahead.
Yes.
So the most important thing is that
May I come and from this side? You are an interviewer, so please.
no, but I need a mic also then.
माइक हाथ में ले लीजिए ना
So here, in case if you are sitting, make sure at least if table is in front of you, I can drag this chair. So most important is that in case if you are coming along with this portfolio, you are standing like this. Especially when I talk about young digital natives, those who were born in 1990s after that. So energetic, enthusiastic, and maybe they may do like this. They just fold it like this. Maybe I can show you. Yeah. So this is the portfolio they are carrying. One way is to carry like this, or you may carry like this. But please don't make something like this. Generally in college, they generally do like this. Okay, fine, sir. Register is there, or maybe a portfolio is like this. So don't fold it like this. Tell your students, and then when you have this with you, and please do not place it on the table. Till the time they won't ask you, or you won't ask for the permission. May I keep it here on the table, and then you can keep it. Otherwise, you can keep it with you. Fine. And then in case if the moment you enter, and because people are there, and why I'm taking it in advance, because I'm here right now. Otherwise, again, I have to go back and I have to complete the whole other things also, which I'm going to tell you. So the moment you just enter, and if you just stand here, maybe the panel is here, the best thing is that you should know about the time. So, and then you can say, good afternoon, sir, or ma'am. Or for example, two ma'ams are sitting, one sir is here, and one sir is here, and there are 4-5 people. There is no need for you to say that good afternoon, sir, good afternoon, ma'am, good afternoon. Not like this. The only thing is you can say like this, that good afternoon, ma'am, eye contact with her, and then only eye contact, and then good afternoon, sir, and then you just have to see all sirs also in one go. Fine. So make good eye contact. You have already seen that eye contact is very important, but at the same time, your presence of mind is utmost important at that point of time. Fine. And in case if you commit any mistake, doesn't matter. Just continue from there, because it's something like they will not going to kill you for this, or maybe they will not going to do any murder kind of a thing. It's okay. They also had gone through this stage. And ये आपका जन्म सिद्ध अधिकार है कि अगर आप nervous होते हो, it's okay, no problem. I told you in classroom communication also, at the time of public speaking, most important is that please greet your anxiety. In case if you are worried about something, in case if you are nervous, accept it. That yes, I'm nervous. But for that we have to work. That so that for that particular day we should not feel that excited. Or maybe not excited, anxiety level should not be too high so that we could not express ourselves. So most important thing is just be there and don't look for the chair here and there. Okay, chair is there. Now let me just sit. It's total. Most important is don't do like this, because till the time you don't ask them, or maybe they will tell you to sit. But okay, you can take a seat. You can say thank you, sir, and then you may sit like this properly. Just see my sitting posture. I'm just sitting like this. I'm not sitting like this. Okay. I'm here. Just can you just put the camera here? Can you see the camera? The way I'm sitting?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm from Chandigarh, sir. See, what are you doing? You're trying to show that as if you're very confident, and this is my place. I don't know from where you are. This kind of attitude should not be reflected in any chance. Fine. So at the same time, you should not also sit like this. Okay, tell us, because I have to go also. Fast. And so what do you want to ask? So that kind of, even though you're not asking such type of things to them, but your body language is reflecting that. So just don't sit like this, ahead, at the same time, back like this, ऐसा करके भी नहीं, और ऐसा भी नहीं, and the same time, like this also. See my legs. It is just going inside the chair. ऐसा भी नहीं. Defensive. Okay, कुछ पूछना नहीं, I'm so think having too much of fearful attitude, and that's the reason why I'm putting my legs inside. Don't do like this. Straight. Just sit the way you are sitting nicely, and see your feet. They are just joined together like this. At the same time, you can just keep it here, and because mic is in my hand, that point of time you will not going to have mic. So what you need to do? This is no. Okay? Don't sit like this with your hands like this. It means I know very well. From where you are, sir, I'm from Chandigarh. I had done this from Punjab University. So don't just, you can say you are actually pulling up or raising your shoulders like this, and maybe you are having this arms folded. This is not the body language which you have to possess at that point of time. Most important is that you have to keep your hands open like this, and then you keep talking to them. Fine? आप ऐसे करके बात करते रहेंगे और आपके hands ऐसे open रहेंगे, and then you can talk to them, especially if the question is being asked to you by one. So you can start your answer by looking at her, but at the same time, then you keep addressing others also. Don't stick your eyes only to one person who had asked you the question. Maybe tell me something about yourself. Sir, I'm Mrs. Meera Anand, so and so. Like आप उसे बताएंगे, I'm a meticulous person. I'm well organized, good communication, and I have done my whatever you have done. So X, Y, Z. So you are going to talk about it, and then at the same time you will going to see this, you will going to see him, you will going to see her. So जितने बाकी भी हैं पैन उनको भी आप बताएंगे. Because if you don't greet them, if you don't respond to them, maybe they will feel neglected. And in case if one person will not like your answer, and moreover he has been neglected also before, at the time of greeting, he or she will definitely say, fine, I don't think so, we should consider her for this post. But in case if you're very positive, and initially also you showed that eagerness to meet and to greet everyone with that feeling, with that smile, with that open eyes, then definitely they will going to have a positive, feelings for you. Then yes, she can do it. I think we can give her a try. So this could only be possible once you are trying that kind of attitude, and you're showing also that kind of attitude. And this is how you need to sit. So is that clear that how you have to sit and how you have to greet, and you have to make your folder ready. And in case if they ask you, tell me something about yourself. And if you are not fresher, if you are fresher, you have to talk about your education. You have to talk about your skills. But in case if you are not fresher, then you have to talk about your education, experience, and skills. Three things. Right? So you just talk about it, and you can only talk from where? From the biographical sketch which you have written. Because today, once you go back home, and one thing is that you have to buy a portfolio for yourself, and you have to make it in a proper form. Number one. Number two, you should know about your own environment, which city you belong to, city's density, population, you can say pluses and the negatives of that city, and at the same time about your family, then why you want to pursue this maybe line or a career. So you should be very well versed with that question also. Next is, what are your career goals and objectives? What are your goals? What are your objectives? What you would like to do? So what is your vision in life? So whether you would like to be maybe a passionate teacher towards the end of your life, but right now you would like to gain experience in this institute where you are actually preparing for an interview. So all these things you should be well versed with. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? I'm going to give you the list of it. You need to find one or two which are matching with yours, and you can just jot it down. Otherwise, very difficult for you to find out that what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses towards the end of it. Favorite subject and the subject studied, and about your values and beliefs. What are your values? What are your beliefs? You really value for values. And if you know about value, what is the basic difference between the values and principles? You need to know about it. What is the basic? Can you just connect me to someone? I just want to know first. Are they really listening, especially Kota, Rajasthan Technical University, Kota?
Yes, sir. Hello, RTI.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Good afternoon.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am.
I just wanted to confirm that are you aware that what is the basic difference between values and principles?
Pardon, ma'am.
Values and principles. You have some values in your life, and are those values are your principles? Are you getting it? Talk about tell me some values you possess. Do you possess any values?
That your question. Pardon.
Hello, ma'am. Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir. आपकी वॉइस क्लियर आ रही है बट मैम की थोड़ी स्लो आ रही है वॉइस तो समझ नहीं आ रहा क्वेश्चन क्या पूछ रही हैं
मैम क्वेश्चन क्या पूछ रहे हैं वो समझ नहीं आया समझ में ये बताइए मैम Okay, tell me
yes.
something about your another question. I may answer this question myself. What is the basic difference between hobbies and interest?
Body.
Interest. Can you repeat? What is interest? There are some difficult questions which are there on the screen about your hobbies and interest.
Hobbies only this.
What are your hobbies and how they are different from interest?
What I want to do,
Hmm?
what I like to do, and interest in specialization is in something, some field.
Specialization in some field is interest or hobby.
Ma'am, she said hobbies what I like and interest is specialization in something.
Interest is specialization. So I'm interested in going to Goa. I'm interested in going to let's say Mizoram. So is it something like what specialization? I couldn't get. Please elaborate this. Am I specialized in something? Interest?
I'm interested in eating. Will be interested in topic will be explained. Like,
Huh?
like I want, I like to do programming in Java, so that is my interest.
What is that?
I like programming in Java. That is
Okay,
my
that is my interest. And what is your hobby?
And hobby is I like to listen music and etc. It's about nature. What is in my nature I like to do.
She said, ma'am, for example, I like music and nature. It's my hobby. Basically, वो professional जो है वो
So you will
interest.
say if it is something in profession that gives you money, this is your interest. Anything that helps you in earning money is your interest. Is that so?
Actually, according to me, hobbies like listening music, cooking, reading book.
You mean to say cooking, listening to music, they are hobbies. And interest क्या होगा उसके अलावा कुछ भी होगा तो interest हो जाएगा.
Yes.
Is that so? Yes. From the studio. Okay, we are getting back to studio now. And yes.
Hobby is something that we do in spare time, and interest is something that for that we spare time.
Okay, if we have spare time, then we do hobbies. But if we want to pursue interest, then we have to take out time for that.
That is my
That is something like, let's say, if I am interested, let's say, for fashion shows, for example. So, do you think I have to take out time for that? Not necessary. You know, if I have interest, I'm interested for so many things. I'm interested for so many things. But I don't take out time for anything for that matter.
Suppose I am an employee, I am interested in playing badminton. For that, I will take out my time. I will schedule my time for that.
That I think more of a passion then. In case if you start pursuing that, it's more of a passion. That's the reason you're doing that. You're taking out time, and maybe gradually that becomes your hobby. Maybe possible. But if you are interested, yes, you are interested in so many things sometimes. Interest का जो span है, I think it's too much. I can be interested in X, I can be interested in Y, I can be interested in Z, but how much time actually I give to all these things? Hardly maybe. I'm interested, yes, I'm interested in listening to yoga. I'm listening to, I can say, to about wellness. I'm interested in literature. I'm interested in maybe being journalism. I'm very interested in maybe you can say diving, and maybe you can say skiing. So many things I'm interested in. But I could not take out time for all these things. In case if we have interest is a very small word to do this. Interest. Maybe you need to have passion. You need to have that intensity. You need to have that love for it. Intense love for that. But interest is okay, I'm interested. I'm interested. But doesn't mean that okay, I would like to pursue this. I'm interested for a particular thing doesn't mean that you will start pursuing that thing. Not necessary. Not necessary. Yes, you will gradually, maybe over a period of time, but not necessary. Is that so?
Yeah, you are also right, because whatever may be interest to us, most of the things.
Because interest, there are so many things. I'm interested in. Maybe I'm interested in so many things.
But for that, ma'am, we try to find out some time for that.
Then once you start taking out time for that, that is not only interest. That is your passion. Let's say in case if you're interested, yeah, maybe because that is your passion then, because that's the reason you are pursuing that. Fine. Interest cannot be because that's the reason we have a different words in vocabulary for this. Why we have to say, because in case if I talk about, it's the same thing like mesmerizing and I can say attraction. I'm attracted towards certain things, but I'm mesmerized by something. It means captivated. दिल को छू लेने वाला. Attraction का मतलब दिल को छू लेने वाली चीज तो नहीं है. That's the reason captivating has a different meaning. On the other hand, when we talk about mesmerizing, this is same. Mesmerizing, captivating is same, but attraction is different from mesmerizing. Maybe the words are different. That's the reason. Hobbies is something for which you generally spend time, which you generally spend money. Maybe you spend some your own efforts, but for interest you hardly do anything. It's my hobby. That's the reason I'm doing painting. For that, maybe I'll take out time to do paint. And maybe I'll give out some money, shell out some money also to buy canvas. And number three, maybe I just give out some time, efforts also. I'll make efforts to draw something. On the other hand, if I'm interested in painting, maybe I'll just see if I find something I'm interested. I may look for a minute, or maybe may not look for this permanently. But on the other hand, in case if I have hobby, so hobby means the intensity is more, and hobby never comes free of cost. It never comes free of cost. It can be your effort, it can be your, you can say your money, it can be your time. So anything you have to spend, and time is money. You know this. So most important thing is that time for interest, it may come free of cost, but hobby will never come free of cost. For that you have to do something. तीनों में से कुछ भी efforts लग सकता है, time लग सकता है, और क्या लग सकता है, तीसरा चीज़ क्या लग सकती है आपका? Time, efforts and your what else? Money. तीनों में से कुछ भी लग सकता है आपका. So that is what is required. So what I'm saying is that just know about all these things in detail once you appear for an interview. Okay. Strength देख लो. In case strength and weaknesses, I'm just showing you on the slide. So if you can relate to any one of these, please write it down for yourself.
Maybe can we go back on values and principles also?
Yes, another one, values and belief. Values क्या होता है? You may value values. Maybe if my parents have told me that you need to be truthful, you need to be honest. At the same time, I may be very truthful, may be very honest, and also you should need needy. If any needy person requires your help, you have to help them. So you have to help needy. So that is what basic value which they have taught me. But in case if I'm really helping needy people, that becomes my principle, that becomes my belief. that yes, I need to do, because towards the end of the day, I'm also getting out of it. What am I getting? Let's say principle. If somebody says that you have to help who is in pain, and if I'm running towards office and I find there's an accident, and fatal accident on the road, do you think I stop and I call up police and help them out, or I just walk away? So in case if I make sure that at least I have to give a call to police, I have to take out time and I have to look after the person who is sitting, who is actually on the roadside. So there, that thing, the value which I have taken from my parents, now I'm actually implementing it practically, and that becomes principle of my life. That becomes my belief that yes, I have to do it. So values are again to be taught by parents. On the other hand, that is my principle, that is my belief, because I'm also practicing it. Now, my parents told me that in case if you get salary, take out maybe some percentage and from your salary, and you should utilize them. When? For your maybe for needy, for those who need it, and it's difficult for them to afford it. So there, what we can do, maybe if I'm buying maybe from bakery shop, if I'm buying some biscuits or maybe cakes, maybe I can buy one more loaf of bread and I can give it to somebody. I said, in case if I come back and I said give it to them, it means the values which my parents taught me. If I'm just practicing those, that becomes principle. So is that clear to all of you? Is it clear? So that is what the big difference between values and principles. So I mean, there's a थोड़ा सा depth में जाना कि हर एक चीज का, so at least you can convince them better, because your convincing is very important. You should know, you are not talking superficially. You need to know about the detail.
Value is when like our elders
Yeah,
taught
elders
us
taught,
honesty
or
is the
what?
best policy.
Policy,
So that
yes.
is value.
But whether you are following that or not,
that is principle.
that is principle. Once you follow it, absolutely. Strength, develop, hard work, persuasiveness. In case if you persuade someone, if you convince somebody, then you can say, I have this, because I told you, tell me something about yourself. So ये वाले words आपको आएंगे कि नहीं? You need to know. Meticulousness, leadership, entrepreneurship, value for values, perseverance-ness.
Never give up.
Yeah, you never give up. It is different from stubborn.
Yeah.
So if I say I'm stubborn, that is a negative. That is a weakness.
With positivity.
For positive attitude, we can say that you never give up because you want to do it. That is what perseverance and team skills. So out of these, in case if you possess any one of these strengths, please write it down. And the weakness, it is not necessary that you have to write only 4, 5. You can write only 1 or 2 also. That depends. But for that, you need to know about yourself in detail. If I talk about, okay, tell me something that in case if you carry this, we can say, the strength of being initiative. So there you need to know, yes sir, I'm a good initiator because I have a creativity. I create my own things. I create my own world, and I don't wait for others to, help me out for this. I take initiative myself and move ahead. Okay, give me one instance where you have done that. So you should be aware about your own life instance where you have shown that thing. We shown your strength, that about your meticulousness or maybe initiativeness. So initiative, in case if you have taken initiative, how? Which episode of your life? If you are being very persuasive, how you have convinced people in very recent past? So please tell the other person also. Because it should not be like this. Sir, हम करते हैं. कब किया? Sir, ऐसा तो. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's very, sir, still, I couldn't remember. If you couldn't remember and you're talking about your strengths, so it means you have not lived with that kind of a strength. So please don't fool yourself, and don't waste time of others also. Weaknesses, overconfident. Are you overconfident? If you're overconfident, it means you don't know about your own abilities. You need to know. Slow starter, set very high goals, stubbornness and procrastination. So all these things are weaknesses. In case if you would like to ask, you may ask me. The third thing, the most important, is what you have to pre-interview preparation, during interview and post-interview. And pre-interview, I told you to have to set for your own biographical sketch. Number 2, you have to buy a folder for yourself. Number 3, you need to know about your environment and to which company you are going. So you need to know about the details of that company also. Right? तो पूरा का पूरा ध्यान रखना, उसमें पूरा बताना कि this company is who is the director, who is CEO of that company, and how much they spend on technical trainings, and how much they actually, what is the attrition rate there of that company, what is their turnover in very recent past, have they ever, this company is in news. Maybe you need to know about all these things before paying. About the products, yeah, definitely, exactly. ये सब कुछ आपको बताना चाहिए. And pre-interview preparation में आपको dress code भी बताना चाहिए, क्या पहन के जाएंगे, what you going to wear. Fine. I'm not here for an interview. That's the reason that please don't. I'm not here, though I need to be very formal. But at the same time, I'm not here for that kind of attitude for appearing for an interview. That's the reason I'm blessing such type of buttons. But such type of things should not. Is a total sheer no for their formal meeting, business formal meeting with someone. Don't do that. I generally wear such type of clothes where I have some dangle or something just to tell you that maybe it seems to be formal, but they are not business formal. Fine. In case if I have all these latkans here of my this thing kurta, or maybe Miss Dupatta, or maybe I have buttons like this, because they are basically distracting the attention of employer. In case if they are taking panelists, if they are taking your interview and such type of things you are wearing, maybe it's all glitter, maybe you're wearing a very good wristwatch, maybe it's matching with your attire, but at the same time, then in case maybe by mistake or purposely, or maybe you're not, it's out of your mind, out of the, you don't have to wear that wristwatch, that kind of a very dangler with a very jewels on it. So in case if you are wearing that, then you should know about the make at least, which make you are wearing and which company it belongs to, because this wristwatch, and why you're wearing on this occasion. You really want to show somebody, or you want to go somewhere after this, so you should be very in detail know about that. Right? If you are wearing, make sure at least girls, if they are going for an appearing for an interview, they need to be very well formally dressed up. आप क्या कपड़े पहन के जाएंगे, that in case you are wearing a suit or maybe sari, summers हैं तो cotton, Lucknowi's will do, and in case if it is summer, winters, then you have to wear silks, jute, maybe fabric, raw fabric, well ironed, pressed, and should not be very radiant colors like orange, maroon, such type of colors. In case if you have a very fair complexion and you are wearing some red suit, and a person maybe just very inspired, and maybe he will say to you, or she will say, it's a very nice color you're wearing. And maybe if you're talking about your own education, your experiences, they are not even bothered what you are talking. But at the same time, they will not also keep you because they have not heard you properly. So most important thing is that it should be well okay submissive, because if you have very fair complexion, you can go for beige colors, you can go for maybe whites, you can go for blacks, plain, and that is okay. Again, not very striking, not very radiant. And on the other hand, very less of jewelry. There is no need for you to carry so many of things in your hand as well as in your fingers. इतना कुछ पहन के जाने की जरूरत नहीं है आपको. And closed, I can say shoes you should prefer. But in case if you don't have closed shoe, but your heels should not sound too much. Again, it should not be tuck tuck tuck, because in case if they have wooden floor, then it's difficult for you to just walk very softly. In case if you have a habit of moving in haste, so please don't do that. And on the other hand, girls, in case if they're not very comfortable with open hair, and please don't do that for that particular occasion. Maybe you will say that, okay, I did it from this university, and sir, then I have been there for this, because you keep playing with your hair like this. So don't create this kind of a scene in front of them. Fine. So make sure at least you can make a pony, or maybe you can just open your hair, but you not, use your hands quite a lot on them. Please don't do that. And you're quite comfortable because you're used to this kind of hairstyle. So you're not bothered. You are just talking. That is most important. Okay. On the other hand, when I talk about boys, make sure at least personal hygiene is the most important thing which they have to take care. And white shirt with black trousers, beige shirt with brown trousers, with you can say a light green shirt with the bottle green trousers, everything, and proper matching. If you have a sky blue shirt, then you can wear maybe a navy blue trousers and then you can wear black shoes underneath. In case you're wearing a beige colored shirt and brown trousers, then you have to wear brown shoes accordingly. Better to be a laces shoe, and even if you have bought maybe a very good branded shoe of Woodland, and but this will not go for that particular occasion because that is not the right place to show that what you are wearing and which shoe size you are wearing, which brand you are wearing of a watch. Everything you should be knowing about all these things in detail. Fine. What is your shoe size? Is it 8 or 9? You should be aware of. Because it happens sometimes they ask you that, okay, fine, very nice shoe you are wearing. Which size it fits? I say, sir, just let me just check it out. And they open say कि मम्मा ने पहना के कितना भेजा था सुनने. I said आपने अभी पहन कर आया तो आपको पता होना चाहिए shoe size कौन सा है. But at that point of time, your presence of mind is very important. Right? That is what I would like to tell you. That's the reason I'm just going in detail about all this. If you are keeping your beard, why you are keeping this? If you have not, if you are using this mohawk kind of a, you can say puff, and why you're doing that. And in case if you like it, then who inspired you doing this? So better you should go simply in a business formal at that point of time. Right? Very important. And the next day, let's say in case if you have to prepare for an interview, and one night before, that is the previous night, you have to have very light dinner and also very light breakfast in the morning. You should not anticipate that, okay, fine, maybe it will take so long, 3-4 hours for an interview, then let me have good pranthas and go. And there, when they're asking you, I said, give me some questions and tell me something about yours. I said, okay, sir, wait a minute. Hey, one sec. Again, you're belching, and that gives a very kind of a bad feelings to the other person also. Please don't do that. Just keep your stomach okay for that particular day. Fine. So all these things plays very important role. You are males and especially girls. Make sure you should not be nail painted with a red or a green with a matching attire, because maybe you start talking like this, sir, I am telling you my hobby is like this, and they keep on watching you like this wherever your hands are going, and then again you are basically distracting the attention of the other person. Don't do like this. During interview, I told you, keep eye contact and then talk to them. Don't stare to them. आप उनको stare नहीं करोगे आप. Don't look at them. No, sir, it is not like this. And I'm telling you, Karnal is a very good place to stay, and dairy farm is there. And the best part is in this dairy farm, all Persian or maybe American Jersey cows are there. So this is how you are talking. You are actually staring at them and making them, being afraid of you. So don't do like this. Just make a good, pleasant eye contact where you can just look at them and talk to them. And in case if the panel is there in front of me. Post-interview, once the interview is over, the most important thing is that you have to answer all the questions with good smile. And in case if you don't know any question, please tell them, sir, I'm not too sure about this answer. Maybe this is a good learning for me. I'll, in case if you allow, I'll get back to you after maybe some time, or maybe after, in case if you're here for 1 or 2 days, or maybe after a few hours, or what I'll do, it's a learning for me for the next time. This is how you should say, but not every time you will say, what's the pardon, sir? What did you ask? Okay, Anji sir, yeah, tell me, excuse me. Every time you can't say like this to the person, that you are not understanding the questions. If you're not understanding the questions once or twice, yes, you may say like this, but not 3-4 times you talk, sir, and I have not understood, I have not understood. If you're not understood, then please take a seat, take a walk. And then, then because it's how you can, ask them once or twice, maximum 2 times, but not more than that. Okay? And post-interview, they may ask you one question that, okay, tell us that you would like to ask us something. Then what do you think? You should not say, sir, how much I will get? You say, how much you will get? Then we are not giving you anything. How much you will get? How can you ask me anything? We are not giving you even a paper after this. Then what you will going to say? Then you say, sir, actually I'm looking for training part. So what kind of training you actually give it to your employees? What is the vision of the company, so that at least let me just go back and rethink that what I am, how I'm going to progress in this platform if I'm going to be the part of this organization. So I mean to say you should be positive. At the same time, you should not be overconfident, because you should know about your abilities well. Number 3, and you need to When you're talking about post-interview questions, you can ask about the training part. What kind of training they will going to give, what kind of infrastructure they will going to expand. So such type of questions you may ask them just to tell them that yes, you are interested in knowing about your company, what you venture. And it's all about just I think the thing gathering information about the diseases we have already done. There's nothing. SWOT analysis is your strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat analysis. Prepare good CV. Ma'am has already helped you in preparing writing skills. Appropriate dress code and familiarize with the frequently asked questions. These are the pre-interview preparations and dress code also. I think I have covered everything in detail about all this. So you may just any questions if you have, please do ask me.